We are back. We are back. Coachella is done. Another incredible weekend. We're going to give you a full detailed recap of our experience. Also, big shout out to all the Cathys we ran into in the desert. So many everywhere. We truly appreciate everyone supporting the podcast. And then we're going to talk some news. We're going to talk about our guy, Elon Musk. We're going to talk about some very, very interesting numbers out of China. Economy is absolutely on fire.
The most accurate data in the world.
Most accurate data. You cannot believe their ability to grow the economy with it completely shut down is unbelievable to me. What a model country when it comes to things like
Hats
that.
off to China.
Hats off to the Chinese people for such efficiency while we struggle to get our economy back on the road to recovery, and so much more. Let's get into it.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, group chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
All right, everyone. We are back fresh from Coachella.
Are we fresh?
I'm pretty fresh. I left Sunday morning, got home, and slept at 9 p.m. on Sunday night. I slept 9.5 hours.
Okay.
I feel great. I'm actually completely back to normal.
What time did you get home on Sunday?
1:30.
Oh, so you got to sleep in.
I guess relative to the normal 6:30 wake time, maybe it was 8:30.
Okay.
But yeah, it was great to be back in the desert. Really, really fun weekend. And, I'm sure if you're on social media, you saw like everyone posting pictures and videos. And it was pretty interesting just because I was thinking to myself, I'm like, all these people have not been around people for so long. What's the interactions going to be like? How are people going to act in normal circumstances? And I thought it was great. Like, I think socially everyone seemed fine to me. It really didn't even feel like it was a pandemic. It felt like they just glossed right over and we got into this new world we're living in. I think the biggest takeaway is that people are younger.
I think people are a lot younger, and I think outside of sporting events that we've been to in the last 12 months, this was a clear sign that the pandemic, at least for young people, it's completely over.
Completely over.
Like, I didn't see a mask in sight. Probably saw a mask more like 4 years ago with the windstorms.
Yeah.
Than here.
I wore a mask during the windstorms just because of allergies. And then other than that, like, you just didn't. Yeah. I mean, behavior at like the coffee shop, the grocery store, just back to normal.
Yeah, it felt normal. I was only there Saturday. So I did the sprint, basically. Got in Saturday morning, met up with you guys. Then we went to the parties, the festival. And it's actually interesting to me because, so the big parties at Coachella outside the festival, it's Bootsy Revolve and the Neon Carnival.
Yeah.
Those are like kind of the two headline parties. And plenty of young people that we even know were gravitating towards Neon. And for the night, I don't know if that's just because Bootsy only had 500 slots and Neon's 3,000 or whatever.
For sure. You couldn't get in.
Yeah, you can't get in.
Yeah.
So young people who can't get in made Neon feel like the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're going to make wherever you go feel like the Super Bowl, right?
And then so on Saturday, we'll get to the Bootsy Revolve, but let's talk about the festival first because I'm curious what you thought on Friday. So we spent a few hours on Saturday at the festival. And maybe it's just our age, but for me, it lost its luster.
Yeah, it's definitely your age. You also didn't go to one for 3 years, right? And so
I don't listen to music.
You don't listen to music.
That's a big problem.
Yeah.
If you go to Coachella and don't listen to music.
Yeah, if you don't listen to music, then maybe if it was like a podcast festival, you'd be fucking stoked. Go listen to Tim Ferriss for 17 hours. But Friday... daytime, I got to stop by. Revolve was having pretty sick pool party at the Parker, which is pretty pretty
Mhm.
badass. And just, food, drinks, all of their closest friends. And it already felt like going into the weekend that like Revolve has become, from a fashion standpoint, the most important brand at the festival. And once you get there and you go to the party and you see everyone dressed up, it felt like that even more. And the irony is H&M is the sponsor of Coachella,
Okay.
the official sponsor. Nobody was talking about H&M, like, on social post, unless you got paid by them. Plenty of people who do not get paid by them, by Revolve, were posting outfits maybe they bought. Like, the amount of impressions that you go into a weekend like this, and then you come away with, like, and from a fashion perspective, like owning essentially the biggest fashion event of the year. Because think about like if you went from Thursday to Monday, you had probably a day outfit and a night outfit for 3 nights.
And a swim outfit.
And a swim outfit if you were at the pool or whatever.
You would have found a pool.
Yeah, you would have found a
It
pool.
doesn't even matter if you're in a tent. You're finding a pool.
Exactly. So I think about, if you think about the amount of clothes that people purchased leading up to the event, and then obviously you bought it because you want to wear it, it makes you feel good, and you want to talk about it. So you're posting all the stuff you bought. Everyone posts their outfits. That's like the thing. And so go to the Revolve thing Friday, felt that energy right away, which was awesome. And then Friday evening, we went to the festival. And yes, I think it's a function of age. Like, I really, really think it's just we're old.
I agree with that. But we were there Saturday night, kind of prime time. There was no lines at the bars. That used to be like kind of a shit show.
Friday night, there was the biggest line at the same bar that we were at. Both bars we were at could not get a drink.
I mean, and spice. Maybe people were just at the parties.
The pizza had the long line.
Pizza
Okay. Had a very long, because I waited in it. It was a long.
Maybe we were at the bar getting drinks. So
Yes.
It felt like the pizza had no line.
No, the pizza had a very long line. There's more people were looking for pizza. You have to also remember, a lot of people are not drinking at a festival. They're doing something else.
Yeah, that's true. That actually could be a better explanation, because I feel like younger people prefer drugs over alcohol. So if they're at a festival,
yeah, even if you're just smoking weed, like, you're not drinking if you're smoking weed.
Yeah, festival people are doing more than weed.
Okay, but even if you're that, I smelled plenty of weed. If you're smoking weed, you're not going to just start drinking.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same. You don't want to mix those things.
But that's also an age function, because I don't think young people prefer alcohol the way we do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, you could just see the different. There are obviously plenty of people drinking. The bars were packed. You just so happened to catch it at a time when it was not. But like whenever the headliner was on in each of the sections, we were at the Rose Garden. I think Arcade Fire was performing near there. The bar was bananas. Literally could not get a drink. The bathroom line, everything. So I think it matters who the act is and who kind of is performing. I think that determines. We Friday night got to see Baby Keem.
That looked hot.
Baby Keem, the energy was bananas.
Yeah.
And I just randomly asked some other people, I'm like, hey, what was your favorite show? I literally only saw Baby Keem. So I did not see anyone else perform.
And that was at Sahara Tent?
And that energy, when like he came on, it was nuts. So I'll tell you a funny story. We're standing right kind of near the front of the stage. These 2 young white kids come up to me. They look like they're 16. Maybe they're like 18, 19, whatever.
Probably 25.
No, they look like real like young kids. And they go, "Are you ready?" And I'm like, "For what?" He goes, "Baby Keem." And then I was like, "Oh, you guys pumped?" He's like, "We just came from Little Baby. Now we're going to go Baby Keem." And then the music starts. These kids lose it. Just fucking lose it. They're jumping up and down like crazy people. They had the best time. And you just see all the kids dancing, having fun. It was pretty awesome. And visually, it was a simple set. It just looked so fucking good from like where we were sitting or standing. And, I don't know. The energy was incredible.
Yeah, I got to experience Baby Keem, as we've talked about, here in LA. And I got to imagine the energy was probably 10x.
Yeah. And when you look back, like I have a video of like the whole crowd, panning to the whole crowd. during like the big songs, it was nuts. It was really awesome.
I mean, for a younger person, call it early 20s, Baby Keem,
if you like hip hop.
if you like hip hop, is that's where the energy's at.
Yeah. I know there was a lot of I think the bigger challenge, I think, for the headlining acts, at least I heard Harry Styles from a distance. I'm sure he's great. I'm sure he's entertaining, and I'm sure he sings great and he has great songs or whatever. I don't know of the audience that was watching Harry Styles, how many of the people know the words to his songs. I'm sure there are hardcore fans that know the words to his songs. The problem with that main stage is you need to have songs that people can sing along to. Like, and not just 2 songs. You need like 15.
Yeah, the whole set.
The whole set, everyone knows
You
the
could
words.
throw in a few new songs.
When Red Hot Chili Peppers was on, you just knew all the words. Everyone grew up listening to them. So it's like, I think they went really young with like the headlining acts. And not to say those acts are not superstars, but you need to be around for so many years for a bunch of people to know the words to your songs.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like very few people know a song that came out 2 months ago, the words to it. And the thing I think is the way you consume music also changes everyone's interest. Because now the algorithm is feeding you whatever you're interested in, and doesn't if you're interested only in rap, then you have a world where you can only listen to rap and nothing else. Whereas kids who grew up on the radio, you just heard whatever the hell they played and they just shoved it down our throat. And whether you like it or not, you heard this song. And I think that part of music is probably a pretty big challenge for a Coachella to maybe they just couldn't get like you need like those big bands or these iconic artists.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Billie Eilish and Harry Styles are not like iconic artists. They're just young. And they only cater to young people listen to them. Like a 35-year-old is not going to know the words to Billie Eilish. They just don't.
I also think maybe the time I went to the festival, which is pretty much Saturday evening to early part of the night because we got out of there.
Yeah.
People were still at the parties.
Yeah.
The daytime parties that transitions into evening parties.
Well, yeah.
Which is thousands of people that have bands. Because we walked from the Rose Garden, Sarah tent to the main stage unintruded.
Yeah, it was pretty crowded.
I mean, we didn't stop. Do you know how many times we've been at Coachella where you actually can't move?
I mean, the parties all together maybe had 5,000 people. You're talking a 100,000 person festival. All the parties combined maybe had 5,000 people.
It just felt a little light. Not gonna lie.
I didn't feel that. I'm sure a lot of people ended up. I saw a lot of tickets for sale the week of, and I think that's a function of maybe diehard Kanye fans canceling.
Well, yeah, it's the first time that we can remember that tickets were going for under face.
Yeah, your general admission ticket was going for under face. I think all tickets went for under face by the time the weekend started.
Yeah, and then you started seeing people post on Instagram, artist guest passes for sale, VIP for sale.
Yeah, so those were all going probably face or under. So yeah, I mean, interesting to see how it plays out. And then Saturday, we went to the Revolve Fest with the H-Rid guys. That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it was so well done. It was really fun. And I think, to be fair, look, it's free drinks, it's free food, it's free picturesque setting. And arguably probably the biggest star of the weekends were at their parties. They had Post Malone close out Saturday, Jack Harlow Sunday, and then Saturday night they had Travis Scott.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anyone performed that was bigger than Travis.
No, and you can make the argument Post Malone.
It's probably bigger than all of them too.
Yeah. Post Malone's bigger than The Weeknd, in my opinion.
Probably for younger people, yeah. I would agree with that.
And Billie Eilish has a cult following, so
yeah,
it's completely different.
Yeah.
But that's my point. It felt like you had to be at Bootsy Revolve, H-Wood.
Yeah. To
actually capture that magic.
Yeah.
And maybe the artists just skew younger, so younger people gravitate towards these, like, the 7 p.m.
indie artists,
and great. But yeah, I mean, how do you compete with that?
Yeah, I think it's and I know
And
plenty of people that
we
came
were
for.
we were in the party, so like we were just talking to our friends. But then when you look on social, it's the most famous people in the world.
Yeah.
When I saw the recap of who was at the party,
Yeah.
some we saw, some we didn't see, but
Yeah, I mean, like Kim Kardashian's a big deal.
yeah, she's a big deal. The Euphoria kids are a big deal.
Yes, all those kids, all the performers, all big deals. Just, seeing who was in the section we were sitting in or across the way. I mean, it was everyone, female fashion influencer, fashion, I don't know. I mean, just everybody from in the fashion industry, fashion and music industry, they were all there.
Yeah. They had a monopoly. And I mean, think about it. If you're as famous as the people we're talking about, it can't be fun to go to the festival.
No.
This is a protected area where like you have your security, your section. No one can bother you. You can hang out with your friends.
Yeah.
It's a free for all at the festival, even an artist.
Yeah.
If you're that famous, people are going to come up to you.
Yeah, no matter what. Like, look, and I think some of that is a function of also like people a lot more comfortable coming up to people now because you want the content.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas maybe 10 years ago you didn't, because what's the point? But now you get to take a picture with someone and says, "Oh, I met them," or "I hung out with them." But I don't know. I mean, like, I loved looking at everyone's recap and content. That was fun. Even though I was there, I still went and looked through everyone's pictures and Instagram stories of all the things happening. And it's always also interesting to see everyone's experience, because I think it's so different for everyone depending on what you're into. Like, if you're into music, maybe you camped out there and you went to like that 3:00 show of that dude that probably still has a full-time job and doing music and hoping to make it. And then you have people that stayed till the end of the night seeing the headliner. I also think the other problem is like the logistics are still kind of bad, considering this festival's been happening for like, I don't know, 25 years or however long. The traffic getting out of there Friday night was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
You guys stayed late.
Yeah.
So if you stay late, you're still getting screwed.
I'm not going to name names, but one of our friends wanted us to see Big Sean. Okay?
There's a lot of Big Sean hate when I walked in the house at 11 a.m. on Saturday.
And so I was like, dude, let's go. Like, let's beat the traffic. You could see Big Sean some other time. I left just out of protest. I went, sat in the area where our car was, waiting to go, like near a like little bar.
What stage was Big Sean on?
Sahara.
Okay.
I walked away. I like Big Sean. I'm sure he's a great guy. I wanted to leave. I knew there'd be traffic. I didn't want to get stuck in traffic. Then I get, I'm sitting. Finally, everyone shows up. An hour later. I'm not going to mention the name. One friend loses his phone.
Okay.
Loses his phone while at Big Sean. Okay? Then everyone comes. Everyone's looking. We're calling it, trying to find my iPhone. It's gone. It's green bubbled. Maybe it got stolen.
Yep.
Maybe the battery died. This guy doesn't have a dead battery ever. So
They took the SIM card out.
Yeah, it sounds like someone took it. Obviously, he's not in a great mood. No, you can't be in a good mood. I was actually recapping myself. Despite me smashing my phone at Super Bowl and not being able on it, I had a pretty good time.
Yeah, I think it's different because you have 4 hours of like, you're already here with the people you're going to be with.
4 hours. It was 10 hours.
10 hours. But you weren't there to meet other people.
Yeah.
Whereas like Coachella, the person you're talking to has 1,000 friends at the festival.
Yeah.
So they're trying to coordinate which party, which event.
Yeah. I don't know if he was doing all that, but for work, I get it for work purposes. So then we hop in the car. Obviously buzzkill then.
Yeah.
And what happens? We're stuck in the car for an hour and a half.
Hour and a half after.
Yes. And then we went to a party. We got to see Swedish House Mafia, so I didn't have to see Sunday, which was awesome. They were at the Spotify house, or I think it was their house. Good time, but yeah, obviously your friend loses his phone. Everyone's kind of like, eh.
So Friday, you guys came back.
We were just tired, I think, at that point, and then the traffic was a buzzkill. Saturday, we got out of there early, got to the Bootsy Bellows party, the Revolve kind of section, and was awesome. I had a great time.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
They crushed it. They had the most impressions by far. They had the biggest artists.
Yeah.
They had the most famous people.
Yeah. Which, if you're marketing a business, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I guess the real question is they just need Coachella to exist so that important famous people want to come so they
Yeah.
can get them.
I was thinking, do you take that party and do you make it bigger or do you make it smaller or do you keep it the same?
I think the same.
Yeah.
I think the afternoon night is perfect.
Yeah.
Afternoons are bigger. I mean, the Instagrams I saw, Jack Harlow looked insane on Sunday. He's a mega star.
You're happy.
I'm all
so
in.
you left Kid Leroy. You left your other white savior. You moved on to Jack Harlow.
Yeah, I like Jack Harlow.
I think Jack Harlow feels like he's like I think he has a Drake song coming out. Like he's a Drake song away from being like
He has a shot to
Yeah.
be like really, really big.
Yeah, like he could be like Post Malone big.
Yeah, he just needs more tattoos, I guess.
No. I think people like that he's just like this.
Well put together.
Yeah. Like that's like his look. The Kentucky boy next door.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, look, I think the real story of the weekend is we are old. That's the story. I walked Saturday morning when I woke up, went to our kitchen, grabbed some water, walked back to my room. And I stopped for a second and I was like, damn, I'm kind of old. And then Saturday night when we were sitting down somewhere, I saw some really old people and I was back. I saw someone like probably in their 60s or 70s, just roam around with a backpack
At the festival.
watching music, having a good time.
But that's
dancing.
the funny thing about Coachella is that, especially at the parties, there's plenty of people our age
way older.
and older,
Yeah,
or a lot older, and no one wants to give it up.
never. Why would you give it up? What's the point of giving up?
Yeah.
What do you want to sit on like Instagram and watch everyone have fun? Why not go have fun?
Yeah, I get it.
I think people like, I spoke to a lot of people like, damn, I'm getting old. Damn, I'm this. Like, because everyone's
I
like,
mean, we're 20 years older than the average person.
sure. I mean, but that's a lot of things in life, some people don't go out to eat on Tuesday nights because they're like, I'm too old. People just make excuses for everything. So I think,
So
I don't know.
are you sticking to your pledge that you're
yeah,
the
I'm
LeBron
going
James
definitely.
of Coachella and you're waiting for Bronny?
Yeah, I'm 12, 15 more years.
Full weekend.
Full weekend, 12 to 15 more years. Maybe.
So there's no part of you from Thursday to Sunday where like, I could have just done 2 nights. Just cut it 1/3.
If there was no traffic, I would have gladly have left Friday midday.
Yeah, but that's not feasible.
We were all working till 2:00 Friday. We didn't get. I mean, like it's not like people were partying Friday at our house.
Yeah.
It was far from that. I think the if it was a little bit shorter of a drive and there wasn't the traffic getting in and out of there, I would also. I left Sunday morning, no traffic. I was home easy, but I don't know. I think it's a tough. It's really a traffic thing.
That's fair. Well,
I mean, shit. I would even if it was close enough. It was an hour away. I would even stay home.
oh, just go back and forth?
Yeah, whatever.
No, but then you have to wake up. Like,
I know, but then like Saturday, just come at like 3:00 or something. If it was 1 hour away, some instances felt like it took an hour to go. Like if I lived in San Bernardino, I wouldn't get
maybe you should move.
What if I just part-timed in San Bernardino?
Yeah, January through May.
Mason.
In San
I hit
Bernardino.
Indian Wells. I hit 2 Coachellas, a stagecoach.
And then move back to the city. That's your new life.
Oh my God. I love Palm Springs. Except for the dust. I absolutely love Palm Springs.
You're a big Palm Springs fan.
Yeah. It's just hot. I like that heat, that dry heat.
Yeah. Well, congrats to H-Wood, Brian, John, the Revolve folks.
Yeah, man. The hospitality this weekend, unbelievable.
Yeah, we were treated like A-list celebs.
Yes. Well, I am.
But yeah, they took care of us. There were no lines as we were waiting on for their stuff.
Parking passes.
Parking passes.
Here's the thing with anything in life. If you're able to get dialed and just, and be fortunate to be friends with the right people, it really makes your experience much different.
Yeah.
Whether it's even like our parking pass at Coachella or the parking pass at the parties.
Or you just have to find events where you get taken care of because your experience will be great.
This is exactly my belief in eating out, right? Like I purposely do not go to any restaurants outside of H-Wood unless I know the owners also. It's just not, you don't get treated. I don't want to be treated like everyone else. Fuck that. I don't want to go to the matron who goes, oh, your table's not ready. It's going to be another 25 minutes.
Right.
Fuck that. I'd rather go to the restaurant that I'm taking care of. You eat at the same restaurant, what, twice a week?
We take Mav every Saturday night and Sunday night because we can do whatever we want in the restaurant.
Exactly. The same place where we take our kids, they do not care what we do there.
Right.
During the day, we can go, they can walk around like a mega mess, and we go. Same thing with parties, same thing in everything in life.
They know exactly what food we want. They know how to make it, what restrictions.
Exactly. So that's even whatever party.
You have to find your own bubble.
Yeah. Everyone should live in a bubble.
Don't be too adventurous.
No,
you want
I don't like
to be
those
easy,
people
stay
like,
in a bubble.
what are the specials today? Fuck that. No one wants the specials. That's just some experimental shit the chef is trying, and it's a 50-50 hit or miss.
Yeah.
I don't even like to order food outside like the 5 things I enjoy eating.
Right.
What's the point? I'll be disappointed.
Yeah, you're not a Yelper.
I'm not a Yelper.
Yelpers want to explore.
Yeah, I get it. There's those folks on, at least on the food side, but even like anything, I don't know. Maybe that's age. I'm happy with where I get taken care of.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Liquid IV was a big part of our Coachella experience.
I noticed that.
You saw it all over the
Liquid
house.
IV was everywhere.
Everywhere. It looked like we were a Liquid IV house.
I also think that showed our age during the weekend because it was like 1 p.m. One of our friends had to drink a bottle of water with Liquid IV in it, and someone's like, "Wow, you're starting early," like thinking it's
Something
like
else.
an enhanced substance.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, I swear it's Liquid IV."
I mean, look, when you're out in the desert, 1 stick of Liquid IV is 16 ounces of water, hydrates more faster and more efficient than water alone. I mean, that alone is a reason to have Liquid IV. Liquid IV, I think that activation out in Coachella as well. Like, what a great product. I feel like everyone should have. That's like a festival must-have. Like, my must-haves are Claritin D, Liquid IV. I took an Advil. Like, these are the things when you're, a 40-year-old going to a music festival, you have to take. But Liquid IV was a must-have and really saved the weekend for all our hydration needs. And of course, if you're heading out somewhere, head over to liquidiv.com. Use the code GROUPCHAT and get 25% off. Or if you want to buy in bulk, maybe you're going to all the festivals this year, head over to Costco and buy 2,000 of them, and you're good to go for the whole year. Back to the episode.
Should we get in some news?
Let's get into some news. Guess who's not getting taken care of? Elon Musk. He is going on a rampage against this board on Twitter. So all kinds of things have happened in the last couple of days. One of the things that happened that was so interesting is Jack Dorsey replied on a thread of someone's saying that the Twitter board is a mess. And it's always been a mess. Isn't he on the board?
Well, no, he rejected his board seat.
Oh, okay, so he's off. So he said that, and then Elon Musk says that if he acquires the company, he will eliminate all the compensation for the board. Apparently, board members on Twitter make like $250,000 to $300,000 a year.
It cash stock, and he claims it's $3 million a year.
Each one?
No, in total.
Total.
So he's like, there's $3 million a year in expenses I can cut.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not like a secret in corporate America that if you can get on the flywheel of these corporate board seats,
it's a great life.
you make a crap load of money.
Yeah.
And then once you're vetted on one board, you get to the next board.
Like, he's on the board of Twitter. Let's just put him on.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's a great world to be in, but sure, it's like a few hundred people that get to experience this in the world. And yeah, I mean, if the company's underperforming and the board is in charge of basically firing and hiring the CEO, then yeah, if you're not performing, the company's not performing, why is the board getting paid?
By the way, it also just got announced just now, Apollo Global Management is considering participating in the bid for Twitter with Elon.
So there's the money.
And Apollo also owns Yahoo. And there's other private equity companies apparently now that are coming to the table to go partner with Elon. They know the company's underperforming. It's the easiest sell. Like, shareholders are going to sue the board.
Shareholders will sue the board, and if Elon walks, the company's worthless.
They're in a crater now.
He
has them in a tough spot. He has the company and the board in a tough spot. At this point, I think they're better off, if they actually don't want to sell, is let him on the board, or let him engage in conversation so that he is a part of whatever change Twitter might. Otherwise, the poison pill is going to be the end of the company.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty clear that it doesn't feel like Elon's stopping. I mean, only Elon knows what he's going to do.
Yeah.
But I know people are arguing how much thought did he put into it or not. It doesn't matter at this point.
He's got him.
He's got him. He's big enough. He's rich enough. He's powerful enough where people will come to finance anything he does.
Yeah, of course. Like this, honestly, him owning the company might be transformational for him. He may unlock so much value, and he can go back and take it public again fucking 5 years from now.
Mm-hmm. And more importantly, I think now that CEOs are kind of famous, this is like setting a precedent.
Yeah.
Like, you should be a little nervous if you know you have a company that has product market fit, but it's not performing at the pace it should be.
Yeah.
There's more than one Elon.
Yeah, especially when you think about just in general, like a company like Twitter, which is so transformational, that has not had the success financially of a Facebook or a Google or whatever. Like, they have a lot. That, I mean, any founder like that or any CEO of that type of company is with times coming tough, they're all under the gun.
Yep.
It's not going to be easy.
No, not at all.
Really interesting to see what happens. And I think it's like a daily thing now. It's a daily fight.
Yeah, the board has to be panicking. The corporate team at Twitter must be panicking.
Yeah.
Because they have no idea what's going to happen. And because of its platform, Elon gets to talk to the world every day.
Yeah.
And say,
yeah,
here are the reasons why Twitter is underperforming or needs to be taken over. So I think it gets way uglier in the next few weeks.
Yeah. I believe that. All right. There was an interesting article where someone said, so stock splits are like at some ridiculous high since, I don't know, I think there's like a record number of stock splits this year. And S&P 500 companies are announcing stock splits at the highest rate in 10 years. Stock splits mean nothing.
It's genius. It's marketing.
It is genius marketing. But everyone, like Amazon splits their stock. Everyone talks about it. It means nothing. All you did was divide the stock price by 10 and increase the outstanding shares.
Now that you can buy fractional shares on any platform, all a stock split's doing is highlighting how little financial literacy there is.
Yes. That the retail investor can be duped.
Correct. So they believe $500 a share is too expensive, but $50 a share isn't.
Yeah. I remember when people would
market cap of the company.
When you talk to people and they're like, oh, the stock is so expensive at $3,000. I'm like, compared to what?
Yeah, people will say, call it
Amazon.
Amazon's too expensive, but Facebook's cheap.
Yeah. Just because one says $200 and the other one says $300. They had no idea what, like, how to value the business or how to look at the basics of it. But it is genius.
Yeah, geez, just keep doing. We've talked about this forever. If Amazon's
Tesla should do the 1,000 to
if
1
Tesla
split.
was $1, everyone would own Tesla.
Yeah, I'd buy Tesla. Just
I'd
for
buy
fun.
5 shares.
That's his next announcement. 1,000 instead of doing these 10 to 1 splits, 5 to 1.
I mean, he could do it. If anyone's going to do it, he would do it.
Yeah.
I mean, even in that TED talk he did, he's talking about Dogecoin. They're like, why do you like Dogecoin? He goes, I like memes. I like dogs. That's what Elon said.
Oh my God, that's so funny. All right. Well, curious to see how these larger companies continue to keep doing this. Here is, I actually think, some really big news. The Apple Store in New York City. I think it's the big store in
Fifth Avenue.
No, is that Fifth Avenue or Grand Central? I forgot. Double check the location. They are the employees there, Grand Central Terminal. They are seeking to unionize, and part of that union kind of goal is to get a minimum wage of $30 per hour. And I guess today the range of Apple employees is between 17 to more than $30 an hour based on your experience and your position. On Monday, Verizon also announced that they're going to raise their minimum wage to $20 an hour. And so really the union needs 30% of about 270 eligible employees at the Grand Central Terminal in order to file with the National Labor Relations Board. So if organizers get 30% of eligible employees to sign cards, then more than 50% of employees would have to vote to unionize in order to officially certify the union. So I don't know at this point why an Apple employee there wouldn't, unless it restricts you in some career. Might as well, right? Fuck it.
Yeah, I guess if you're the employee,
What do
what's
you
your
gotta lose?
downside?
Yeah, what do you got to lose?
You have nothing to lose. But then ultimately,
They will lose.
yeah, because the problem is a company like Apple, which prides itself on the consumer experience, unions make it very difficult to fire people. Unions make it very difficult to
Enforce
like
anything.
proper quality control. And then the quality of service will just go down at that Grand Central Terminal store. And then Apple may just shut the store down.
Yeah. And the thing what I think people don't appreciate is you push a tech company, the most valuable company on earth, a little too much, they will just figure out how to do it without people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I actually do believe there is an immense need for an Apple store. I don't see a world where Apple stores will ever go away. I think it's just one of those, our friend lost his phone. He needed it right away. People need things right away. So I don't see a world where Apple stores go away ever. I do see a world where there'll be less and less employees and eventually zero, right? Like, go to a kiosk. If you need to talk to customer service for something, it's someone sitting in the Philippines, right? How can we help you? Okay, cool. Open up your laptop, do this, do that. Plug your phone in here. I mean, you're going to get there.
Yeah, they'll definitely get there. So, I mean, that's the problem. It's like in an efficient market, labor will just get squeezed out.
Yeah.
Especially when you have 10 million jobs unfilled.
Yeah, I think that's the real challenge, is that like there are so many jobs available, and people, there was a really interesting article about Gen Z and how they view work and how they view labor and what type of jobs they're actually interested in. They're not genuinely interested in the jobs of the last 20 years.
Right.
So if that's the case, then either new industries will be created or there'll be a ton of unemployment. Those are the only two options. Because if they're not interested in those careers, then it's really, really hard to get anyone to fill the jobs. And I think retail is one of those positions that's going to be really fucking tough to fill. It's not a desired job. But if the pay is good and the benefits are good and you don't have any other options, I don't know. At what point do you know, we'll have to see what it feels like. I mean, all indications are the economy is slowing.
Yep.
So if it is, and let's say we don't even get into a recession, but you're just slower, at what point do the people turn and say, you know what? Like, I gotta get a job. Or
Yeah, it's once their savings deplete.
yeah.
So people are sitting on savings right now.
Yeah.
And they're just like, maybe I don't want that job. I don't want to wake up.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the office.
Yeah, if you have the luxury, I guess, of not having to work. Because I think the other piece with like inflation and everything that's trending, which obviously aren't good for the average American person, is that you're still coming off the heels of probably pretty good years of earning between stimulus and if you kept a job, and hopefully you had some assets that appreciated. So you may still feel like you have a little bit of cushion. You know, I've been talking to a lot of brands, and a lot of brands will tell me, hey, you know, we had a soft Q1, but, you know, we're hoping that things pick up. Like, the indication is not that it's going to pick up.
No.
There's no stimulus money. And the challenge is like, I saw Andrew Yang, is that his guy's name? Stimulus guy?
Yeah.
He was talking about
Who ran for president?
yeah, he was talking about giving more cash to people. The problem, what we learned during COVID is when you give just a check to people, they spend it on shit that they don't need, that is not essential to your life.
Which created the inflation problem.
Yes. And so that's the problem. If it was, hey, you get cash to subsidize your life and it can go towards your student loans, it can go towards your rent, you can go towards utility bill or education, I'd feel more comfortable with that. But no, go and go hit up you know, StockX and buy whatever you want. Doesn't work.
I mean, that's exactly what happened. It's basically people were like, fuck it. I'm just gonna, I mean, the average person isn't good at allocating their own resources. That's why Americans sit on tons and tons of personal debt. The All In Pod guys actually had a stat that they said $430 billion in home equity was created and refinanced since 2020 in America.
It's a lot.
That means they spent it.
Not necessarily. You think
money came from their home equity lines in cash.
So I guess, yeah, you're just assuming they just blew it on something. Vacation,
remodeling.
But their home values also went up too. That's the difference. So I don't think that is like, that is as scary as what we're about to talk about now, which is, we'll jump right into it since we're in the topic of it. Afterpay, which is a buy now, pay later company, which was acquired by Block, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is Square, reported some pretty scary numbers.
Bad debts are looming.
And it's, what was it? The number was staggering. I couldn't believe.
Yeah, so its bad debts went from 72 million year prior to 176 million at the end of the first half of the year. So 6 months to 6 months. So basically what that means is people are buying now and not paying.
Yeah. Remember I was trying to pitch buy now, pay never.
So we know how many countless e-com companies have benefited from this buy now, pay later, because it just incentivized the consumer to be a little more reckless.
Yeah.
And
it sounds like government, officials are going to start looking into this because it's going to pile up now.
Yeah, it's an easy thing to just basically shut down that bank account that it's linked to where you get debited from.
Yeah, I don't know if they have that much power.
Who? No, you as a consumer do.
Yeah.
So I've never used one of these, but I'm assuming it's either linked to your credit card, your bank account.
Yeah, but they still have your address. You can go after your credit still.
Yeah, they'll send you to collections.
Yeah.
But they're not getting the actual cash.
Yeah. The other issue is Block paid $39 billion for Afterpay.
Yep.
And, I mean, these results are pretty scary. It just shows the consumer is out of money.
Yeah,
the average consumer.
There's no more stimmy.
Yeah.
It's all done.
Yeah.
So you have to learn to live within your means, which
Well,
we
they're
haven't
also-
been able to do, and which you weren't required to do in over 2 years.
I'll tell you what's scary about this stat is it's as of December 31st.
It'll
It
be-
does not even include what the fuck just happened the last 3 months, which is record inflation, where your consumer, you paid for your gas before you paid for, the dress you bought on a buy now, pay later situation.
Arian here, you went to San Francisco this past weekend.
Yep.
How much was your gas tank?
I filled up $70 3 times.
Okay, so $210.
Yeah, for a weekend.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it killed me. That most of my expense
How many
for
people
that
were
weekend.
in your car?
Just me on the way up,
Oh
and just
my
me
God.
and a friend on the way down.
So it wasn't like you had 4 people and 4 people were spitting gas.
No, that was all me. And it burnt. Like, I spent more on gas than I did on food,
Yeah, for
than
sure.
I did on clothes for the weekend, than I did on anything else. Gas was the biggest expense.
That's wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
And by the way, when you go, everyone's adding the fuel surcharge now on everything. Every app, every site, every flight, everything's a fuel surcharge. I had to book a flight last week to go to San Francisco, and I could not believe how expensive the flight was. It was insane to go. I mean, we used to go there for $100. That
Yeah.
shit is gone.
Yeah.
Did you even look at flights when you were going to?
So I don't look at flights anymore because they're just so expensive. It comes out, the cost of flights plus Uber costs more than the cost of just like taking my car up, paying for gas, and driving around myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So that's why this Afterpay thing actually, to me, feels really scary because we have not included the last 3 months.
Yeah, because you don't get a buy now, pay later for gas. If you wanted to get to San
I think
Francisco,
it's coming
I mean, I put it on my credit card, and that credit card is going to be paid off
a little bit later.
Yeah, exactly.
Credit cards are basically
yeah,
buy now, pay later.
That's true.
It's really interesting to see all of these fintech companies that have helped underwrite a lot of our spending for the last year or two. Really, venture money had a lot to do with underwriting a lot of businesses spending, a lot of people spending. So, the next couple months to a year are going to be really, I mean, if the gas prices don't come down, gas prices to me are literally the scariest thing on earth because it just sucks money out right away.
Yeah.
It's not like everything else.
It's pretty tough to live in a metropolitan city where gas isn't part of your daily experience.
Yeah, daily expenses.
Yeah, it's you drive somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm sure in New York or like some of the, your Ubers are going to be more expensive. Your taxis are going to be more expensive. They're just going to pass it on to you.
Yeah, of course. You already see it. Everything you do right now is like a fuel surcharge. They're adding fast. So we'll see. If you want to make a lot of money, though, there's a business that is basically a lock-in to make an average $350,000 a year. A guy, I think the name on Twitter is called like the World of Franchises, did a whole tweet storm on Chick-fil-A and how much an operator can make. And it's quite fascinating. So he is reporting, so it's called the Wolf of Franchises. Sorry. Franchise Wolf is his Twitter handle. And he reported that in 2021, the average sale per franchise restaurant not located in a mall was $8.1 million. That is nuts.
It's absolutely crazy.
And he's estimating that the average franchisor is making $350,000 a year. 46% of operators did as well or better than the 8.1 million. The highest grossing Chick-fil-A did $17 million.
And you get Sunday off.
And they're not open any Sunday. They're not open 52 days of the year. So what does it In-N-Out do? In-N-Out's got to be doing way more.
Yeah, just purely by that extra day.
That extra day and just the physical size of an In-N-Out seems larger than the footprint of a Chick-fil-A.
That seems light though. If you're the operator and you only make $350K on an $8.1 million restaurant.
There's fees, this, that. I mean, he's estimating. He could be wrong. But it's like, And his whole thing is like, I know everyone wants to knock franchises and say you don't own equity, you don't own this. Most people own a business do not make $350,000 a year.
No, and this seems pretty locked in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anything is happening with this chain anytime soon.
No, people love it, and they've had every controversy. No one cares.
Yeah. So one of the guys responded with some of the downsides of a Chick-fil-A franchise is you can only own one location. Some older owners can own 2 or 3. You can't own any other business. That's kind of crazy. And it's practically impossible to actually own a Chick-fil-A franchise.
Domino's is the gold standard for franchises.
Cheap to get in.
90% is probably delivery. So you can be on the second floor of like, you can be in a, there's a Domino's on like.
And low labor. Compare.
And yeah, it's just one oven. Everything's in that one oven.
Really?
Yes. Everything's made in that one oven.
I should own a Domino's. I love Domino's.
There's a great podcast on the genius of the Domino's franchise, like how many millionaires have been created.
Wow.
Because if you own a Domino's and you start doing well and they start telling you like, hey, you should probably go to this location.
They give you the data.
They give you the data. Like
we're getting so much demand here. It would
Yes.
do better if there was a closer one.
Mhm.
Wow.
So they incentivize you to keep opening more.
I like, I was never like a franchise person. Like I would always read about them and, was curious. And I kind of took this guy who was the contradictory approach of like, oh, we don't own anything. They're fucking good businesses.
Yeah, and I think like the average Domino's franchise operator ends up owning 3 to 5 of them. So they're all millionaires.
Yeah.
So your average Domino's owner of any Domino's is a millionaire. Domino's is hot.
That guy's not worried about any gas prices.
Well, it affects his delivery, right?
He's still a millionaire.
Yeah, he is.
He personally.
Yes, he's fine.
But man, that's insane. There's a report that came out. I was reading on the Seeking Alpha website about online advertising. We've been talking about, we've seen a downturn in online advertising amongst our kind of peers who run e-commerce businesses, call it sub few $100 million. And they're cutting across the board. And what's interesting, the reason why they're cutting is 4 reasons. And I think it's very much driven what's happening in Europe more so than what's happening in America. Direct impact of the Russia-Ukraine war was number 1. Indirect impact and potential contagion from war into Europe. Number 3, soft brand ad spend, particularly around geopolitical content. And number 4, just inflation and higher oil prices driving softness in consumer spend in Europe. This is just taking into consideration what's happening in Europe, and the cuts that this group is making is saying Google's revenue, Alphabet, will drop by 1% and operating income by 2%. They think they're going to cut Meta's revenue estimates in 2022 by 3% and 8% by 2023, and earnings per share for this year and next year by 6 and 15%. And same with Pinterest, an aggressive cut. And so that to me is just talking about what's happening in Europe. What's happening in America, we will know soon what the impact was. Earnings season's upon us. Q1, the gas prices went up. How did it affect the American consumer?
I think Europe's going to be much worse. The Russia-Ukraine war spooked everyone there significantly more. I don't think outside gas prices, which directly affected American consumers, the Russia-Ukraine war didn't affect our psyche. Sure, people got on Instagram and posted, but you didn't think about switching your daily life. If you talk to people in Europe, even investors, just stand still. Yeah. We're not doing anything until we find out what's going on. Because there was all these like natural gas issues. Like is Europe going to freeze? Like real implications of this war. There weren't real direct implications to average Americans other than gas prices.
Yeah. Which I think, given that my guess is Americans drive more than any other group of people on earth.
Probably, yeah.
We have probably the most cars still. I mean, I don't know how many cars are in China. or in India, but like the
No, it has to be more in China and India. Can't even be close.
I don't know. Google that, Jordan. How many cars are in China versus America? But I do think the gas prices are just. I was reading even in India, like the gas prices, how much impact has had
Yeah.
on just the average person, like protests, the political upheaval. Like oil prices is one of those things that causes so much political tension
Right.
because it affects you immediately. Like when you're going to the gas station and $100 gets sucked out of your wallet, it's wild. I don't know. Well, I'm very curious to see how the impact is, and I really want to know when you look at American consumer.
All right, in China, there's 340 million. In America, 276 million.
Damn, it's still that many cars in America. How many people do we have? Like 380?
Yeah, something like that.
What are we doing with all these cars? There are 1 billion plus people. They only have 300 million cars.
Yeah, that seems weird. Who has all these cars?
I mean, probably the average American household has 2 cars.
Yeah, but then the average household's 4 people. That 380 million includes kids who can't drive.
Some people have 5 whips.
Maybe.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, let's move on to something super interesting. If you're in the streetwear fashion world, Hypebeast is spacking it up in America. Big news.
I don't like this.
Why don't you look at SPAC?
SPACs are out of favor. What
Not
SPAC
if
goes
a
up?
Hypebeast does it.
No, they should.
I like their symbol, hype.
I mean,
HYPE.
I haven't looked at under the hood in their business, and I know it's super culturally relevant, but just do a traditional IPO. SPACs are out of favor. You're going to get... I can guarantee you this thing will just get hammered.
You don't think it's going to get like a meme
No.
treatment?
No.
One of the interesting things that they're... one of the reasons why they are raising money. So it says that the SPAC is expected to help raise $180 million for Hypebeast. They are going into the resale business to go against StockX and GOAT. If they're coming into America with the resale business, I think they're absolutely toast.
Yeah, I don't like...
I
don't
not
like any of what we're reading about this. I don't like SPAC. I don't like resale.
I like resale. I just think the StockX and GOAT have built out this infrastructure. It's not just like, hey, you get to resell shoes and ship it directly to the consumer. There's an authentication process that StockX and GOAT have invested so much money
Yeah,
in.
both StockX and GOAT have raised over $1 billion each
Yeah, you can't
to build that business.
You're coming to a
When your SPAC's down 80%,
gunfight.
when your SPAC's down 80% in 3 weeks,
Yeah,
you're not going to have any access to the capital markets.
they apparently did $112 million last year in revenue. Less than 30% came from retail through its e-commerce site HBX. So they're still a traditional advertising model, and that's where they're making their money of the 112 million. Which, man, I don't know. It's gonna be tough. I like the sneaker reselling idea. I just don't like it. I think you're too late in America. It's very cost intensive to build that infrastructure out, and then you have to go acquire the customer.
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
Okay, so you're not gonna SPAC it.
No.
All right. Here is exactly what we feared. I mean, literally, we said this, and it happened. TikTok created an alternative universe just for Russia, where Russia, Ukraine, non-Russian content, anything war-related, was not shown to Russians. That's what the Washington Post is reporting.
Yeah, this is so obvious. We've been talking about this for years.
So
Ever since TikTok got famous in the US, this was like such an obvious thing that would happen.
And by the way, my theory then that Coachella was blocked from China is probably true.
I think so.
Yeah.
Definitely got throttled.
I want to ask someone in China, what do you think of Coachella this weekend?
They're going to be like,
What?
what's Coachella?
Never heard of it.
Exactly.
This is pretty blockbuster news.
It's
It is
sure,
blockbuster.
but it's not surprising. That's the problem.
But it is blockbuster. And like, so you're the American government how do you react to this? Do you understand what happened? Like, this is a big problem because there's no way anything Americans are saying are being shown in China. No fucking chance. I would love to see what a Chinese TikTok looks like.
It's just creating different.
Could I get a VPN, say I'm in China, and then view the content just to see?
Probably.
And you search hashtag Coachella outfits. Nothing. Never heard of it.
I mean, they blocked the Houston Rockets.
Yeah.
They blocked the NBA team. Why wouldn't they block Coachella?
I would definitely block Coachella if I was. I want to be part of the committee that helps them block things. I have a lot of recommendations.
Yeah, I think the next topic is even funnier.
This is blockbuster
comedy.
news. This is literally comedy. When I saw this, I'm not joking. I laughed out loud. I literally blurted out of laughter. China's economy expanded 4.8% in first quarter, beating expectations. The country is locked down. You can't go nowhere.
There's over 10% of their countries on full lockdown right now. There's food shortages, there's grocery shortages, medicine shortages. You have to order your groceries by, I think, 6 a.m. to get it same day.
And by the way, they were saying how oil and gas consumption in China has plummeted because of lockdowns.
Yeah, this is just, I mean, similar to the topic above about TikTok manipulating content in Russia. They're making up GDP numbers.
What's that meeting look like? They're like, gee, what do you think?
He's like,
what's expectation?
I like 4.8%.
You know what? 48's my lucky number. Give me 4 and an 8. Any way you want it. You can do 8.4. You can do 4.8.
Yeah, it's auspicious. It's an auspicious number.
It is an awesome. I mean, they were expecting 4%.
Yeah.
And it went 4.8. How the fuck is that possible?
It also makes, I mean, China specifically is a bad actor when it comes to this stuff. But how do we know what we're even seeing? And I don't think the U.S. is reporting data for any nefarious reasons. But we know the government's a mess. Why do we think that they're reporting of economic data has any accuracy?
I don't think it is. How do they get this information?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's no fucking way any government official can look at this. Think about our spending. Okay. I just can't believe any government, how they track this data is okay, consumer spending. What do you get? You just use the data from Visa and you say, that's pretty accurate. I don't know. Inflation, how do you truly track it? You're not tracking how much.
It's just directionally right. But this is actually directionally just made up.
Yeah.
But I think the U.S. data is directionally right. Whether inflation was 8.5% or 6% or 9%, don't know. But it's high. Right? Everything's more expensive.
But trillions of dollars is dependent on a fucking bunch of numbers.
And then the Fed dictates interest rates based on this bullshit data.
Yeah. That's my point, is that so much policy is made up of...
Oh, trillions and trillions of dollars is affected by this data.
Yeah.
People look at the CPI as the
Bible
of oh, what's going on in the economy and pricing? How's the Fed going to react?
Yeah. Wild. All right, we're going to end on some good news. Taco Bell has announced the Mexican pizza has returned. It's coming back May 19th. It was actually cleverly announced by Doja Cat at Coachella.
It's great marketing.
She's a brand ambassador, and she was like, I'm so excited. Taco Bell's bringing back Mexican pizza. It is a genius thing to take away something from people and give it back to them.
Yeah, the heart grows fonder, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the
absence makes the heart grow fonder. And I think it's genius, completely genius. And
Taco Bell's always been at the forefront of marketing.
Yeah. And the forefront of fine cuisine.
Yeah, it's excellent.
You know, we had a lot of Del Taco this weekend. It's just not as satisfying as Taco Bell.
I agree with that.
I like particular dishes. Love the breakfast burrito at Del Taco. I love the cheese fries.
But
if I want to eat a bean and cheese burrito, Taco Bell is...
When did they eliminate breakfast burritos midday? That used to be a 24-hour menu item.
I don't know. Egg shortage. There's no eggs.
There's no eggs. Okay.
Thoughts on El Pollo Loco?
I mean, as a vegetarian, just seeing the chickens everywhere is gross. Like,
Fair.
Are they hanging chickens from the ceiling over there?
I haven't been to an El Pollo Loco.
I'm not down with El Pollo Loco. It doesn't. I used to eat their BRC, a beans, rice, cheese burrito back in the day. Just walking in there just gave me. I just don't want to see meat. I don't care what you're doing back there, but when I walk in, I just don't want to see it. Taco Bell gives me that cover.
Fair.
And they have their own vegetarian menu, which is blockbuster.
Yeah, basically every item on the Taco Bell menu you can make vegetarian.
Unbelievable. Whoever is running that place, genius.
Yep.
Genius. All right, everyone. So sorry for the late episode. We'll be back probably on Wednesday because, Tuesday seems too soon for a new episode. Or maybe we'll do Thursday. I don't know. We'll keep you posted. We'll see what's happening in the world. Great Coachella weekend. And shout out to all the Kathys I ran into. I ran into so many people that listen to the podcast. It was so awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Great to meet everybody. And yeah, if you see us in these streets, in these inflated streets, ask Anand for a drink.
I'm getting crushed in the market. Don't ask me for shit.
All right. See you later.